Well, it's time to make a shoe holder. As anybody that knows that has a family, actually just anybody, you end up with all sorts of shoes stacked up in front of your entryway, and it just becomes a pain in the butt. So I've got a couple different sizes of shoes here. We're gonna take some measurements and design a shoe holder to get them up off the floor onto the wall, out of our way. All right, well, I've drawn it up. 3/8 plywood, so we're 36 1/4 plus the 3/8 plywood. We got our flanges in there, our crossbars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 8 inches up from the top center of that one. We're 4 inches from the top center and 12 inches between, 60 inches overall. The sideboards are going to stick out 5.5 inches, and that gives me my 3/8 overlap in the back, so I can use some Craig screws to hold it together. I drew a little pipe down here at 36 1/4. So this is all the dimensions I need to go put this thing together. So let's grab the piece of plywood and start cutting. Well, we got the boards cut to length. I've gone ahead and got the portable pocket hole jig out. I'm a big fan of the Craig screw system, and it's gonna work really well for this, but it's a little finicky sometimes, especially when you get into the thinner material. So just getting used to it and understanding how it's gonna work, and then doing test pieces goes a long way. With all that said, we can go ahead and get this piece of plywood spun around and put a bunch of screw holes in the back of it. So we just start right up here at the top. Well, I'm decided not to paint it. I'm gonna go ahead and stain it. Just saturate a rag and wipe it on. You've got the pre-stain on there, which conditions the wood to take the stain a little bit more evenly. And now we're gonna go ahead and throw some golden oak stain on here. All right, I'm going to throw a coat of polyurethane on here. I'm a huge fan of templates and jigs and things that make repetitive tasks more accurate. So in this specific instance, I took a piece of scrap plywood, I rounded or measured 12 inches between centers, and then I set it on here, got the measurement up and bottom. Long and short of all that is I'm gonna use this, and from this end to the center of the first hole is the distance from the bottom up that I want. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that on there, and that will give us our distance for our first crossed support. All right, and our second one, same thing. So now we can take our template, slide it over to the other side. And then we move our template up. now that we have all the rails installed, it's time to get this thing down to the garage and get it installed. Well, here's my problem. This is our shoe rack. And there's just one area, and through the door behind me, there's a bunch more shoes also, because they end up on the floor, and this is our primary in and out of our house. My wife parks her car in here normally. So the new shoe rack is going to get mounted between these two plugins on this wall. Hopefully get rid of this bench and get a spot for all of our shoes up off the ground on the wall. There's a lot of shoes out here that don't get used very often, so I'm sure it'll be a constant harping on my daughter to make sure she puts her shoes where they belong, which will be on the wall. But we're going to get this thing mounted, get the shoes thrown on there, and go from there. Alright, so we've got our stud locations. Let's see what that looks like. Well, I gotta say I'm pretty pleased with that. The rubber boots may need to be just on the floor. We'll see. I don't want them sticking off the wall too far. But a few sets of boots down below to keep the path open to the garbage can from the door would be very nice. Keeps them up off the wall and gets that weird bench thing out of here that we never use anyway. Looking good. I like it. Well, we got it done. So this is gonna be in the Happy Wife, Happy Life series. Gets the shoes out of my way and keeps my wife happy, which is always a good thing. It was a real quick build. Used supply what I had left over from a different project. Like I said, check out the link in the description for the pipe and the little flanges. This is the stuff that's designed to build stuff like this. It's not pressure rated piping or anything like that. Threw it together with some Craig screws, put a little stain on there, put the pipes in, got it mounted on the wall. Should help us out in the long run, keep all this stuff organized and out of the way. Obviously, I gotta stay on top of my daughter and my wife about putting them on the wall where they belong. But I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I'm really glad I decided to stain it and not paint it. I think it looks really nice, and it will serve us fairly well, I think. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you got a lot out of it. And until next time, thanks for watching.